Okay, Jai Janindra everyone. Today is the third day of the Lakshana, and the day, as we all know from Ramrita Auntie's class, is about simplicity, right? So, with the thought of simplicity and simplifying our thought process, let's chant Namokar mantra. Join your hands, take a deep breath. Namo Arihantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Airiyanam, Namo Vajrayanam, Namo Loe Sabba Sahunam. ऐसो पंच नमो यारो सब पावपनासनो मंगलाणं च सव्वेसिं परमं हवै मंगलम्. Jai Janine. Welcome for today's class. So, a short revision on what we did in past 2 days. First day, we spoke about though I took a revision, but I really want you to go more deeper today to understand what we learned. So I'm hoping that everyone has started feeling gratitude towards these 1 to 5 sense beings. Give me a thumbs up if you all are with me. Okay, good, Agamya. Anusha, you can also show your video, please. Whoever is there, please show your video so I know everyone is on the same page. Yes. So by now, I'm feeling that all of us are on this feeling zone that no matter what, the life which is coexistent around us, we have to feel gratitude towards them, so that they also respond back to us with love and compassion. And that's really true. If we respect fire, air, water, insect world, and all the other beings from the ecological system, trust me, they're going to respect us back, and they're going to respect our life too. So it goes hand in hand together. We also learned about the 108 ways we are doing these kashai in different forms with our accumulations, and that by chanting 108 times Namokar mantra every day, we are trying to remove some of these knots or black holes inside us, right? So that we can become as pure and as brilliant as possible. So that was the first day we covered these two things. Second day, we talked about mithyatva, 5 types of mithyatva, right? And when we learned about these 5 types of mithyatva, we also try to understand how does it apply to our thinking right now. We understand that mithyatva is really false perception, which is reverse thinking, not seeing the reality the way it is, but seeing it through our colored and stained eyes. And what is the colored and stained eyes? These are the eyes of Kashai. Whenever we are looking at something with some element of greediness inside us, with a little element of deceitful inside us, that's or ego inside us, that's the time that we are actually not able to see anything in front of us clearly. We get blinded, and then we go into these different types of false perceptions that we spoke about last time. So a quick revision is, we learned about reverse thought process, how our thinking goes totally in a reverse process. We don't perceive the reality. We may even perceive the reality totally opposite of what it may really be. Number 2, we learned about our one-sided attitude. Only I am right and you are wrong, or only I will accept this book only if it doesn't have any mistakes, all or nothing thinking, just black and white, no gray area. Thirdly, we learned about Vinay Mithyatva, which was bowing down to others' feet just because we want certain kind of desires or worldly things to be fulfilled for us. And that is what the Vinay Mithyatva is. Fourth one is Sanshaya Mithyatva. We learned about doubting the texts or the scriptures or the acharyas or the Aryan Bhagwan, the messages which is been given to us, and doubting or feeling superstitious or blinded towards them. That's when the Sanshaya Mithyatva takes arise. And the Sanshaya Mithyatva also, I told you, is about self-doubt too. So you have to do whenever you are doubting your own inner self, I feel that that's also a Sanshaya Mithyatva. Because whenever we doubt ourselves, suppose we say that, hey, I'm not capable of doing this, or this is not, I'm not a good person. That's exactly the point when you are doubting your own, the presence of soul's quality inside yourself. right? And that's the time when the self-doubt or the sanshay mithatva actually arises. The fifth kind of mithatva we spoke about is ignorance. Again, the same thing. There are so many things in the world we really don't know about. Floods happening, tides happening, and so many miserable things happening. But since we don't know anything about it, that does not mean that we are not responsible for it. We can still constantly give our gratitude or send our blessings to every part of the world, so that we can get rid of our ignorance, and slowly our feeling zone starts opening up, so that we can gain and grasp more knowledge as we go forward from here. So this was a quick revision on what we spoke about yesterday, what we learned yesterday. Today is a beautiful day again of simplicity, right? And becoming simple is really the key of the Jain Dharma. Trust me. Every single problem that arises in our life, if you really see, is because we turn complex at some point or the other. A small story I'm going to share with you here. What is the opposite of simplicity? If we are not simple, if a line is not straight, it is crooked. That crookedness is about our nature of deceitfulness. So when we are full of deceit, that's the point when we lose our natural nature of simplicity. So simplicity is not something that we have to, as an attribute, get from outside us. It is already inside us. We already live with it, but we cover it up with our complex thoughts, with our lot of mind chatter there, and then everything goes absolutely complex. So there was this amazing guy, and he was actually trying to deceive, what? Death. Can you believe it? Someone trying to deceive death? Yes, this guy was extremely smart. He thought well that he's extremely smart, and he wanted to deceive death. And in the process, what happened is, he was also a great artisan. He was an artist, a creator. He was a sculptor, and he could make such beautiful monuments. And he could replicate, like if you're standing there, suppose Agamya, he can actually replicate you as it is within a rock or within a marble. And no one can tell you which of the two pieces is the real one and which of the one is not the real one. He was so amazing. His hands, his skill was so amazing that there was absolutely no way anyone could have identified. He was very proud of his skill, because of course, like no one in the world can do what he can do, right? So he was extremely. Now, one day he thought, now my time is going to be up. I want to do something interesting. I want to make myself live forever. I'm so smart. I think I can do that. I'm going to deceive death, my death. And how he chose to deceive his death? So he said, I'm going to make 5 murtis or 5 sculptures of my own self. And when the death will come, the death will get confused. Which one is the real one? Wow. Look at his smart brain cell right there, right? He wants to deceive death. Hey guys, who knows about AKPs? Can anyone deceive AKPs? Absolutely no. Whose time has to come, right? AKPs would come, grab us, and take us into our next lifetime. The time is fixed. So AKPs will grab on. But this is a story. So for the sake of this story, this person finally makes 5 amazing, beautiful sculptures. But this man is trying to deceive the death. He's very deceptive, even though he tried to make these 5 amazing sculptures. But let's see what happens in the end of the story. Now everything is ready, and he knows that the death is going to be here any moment. So he sits quietly, just like how he made the sculptures, and he put all 5 sculptures in a row, and the 6th one was him sitting there silently. And I was waiting for the death to come exactly in the pose of those 5 sculptors. And trust me, if we were there, we would absolutely not know, which is the real one. Now the death came. And death came, and death moved around and took 3 circles. And death, was thinking, what? Really? They all look the same. I don't know what to do. And then suddenly a thought came to death. When you have deceit in your character, which birth you're gonna take? Does anyone remember that? With a deceitful character, what kind of bird do we go into? Sunidhi.
Human?
Human bird leads to deceit? No, 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 no. With the major character that leads into deceit. Okay, Vivan says it's the Ryanch Ayu. Absolutely, we go into the animal world because of the deceitful nature. So this person might be living a lot of deceptive life, and that's the reason that the end of his life is there, and he's still feeling and trying to deceive the death. So death knew that the next birth is gonna be the animal birth for this one, because that's where he went to take this person to, right? So you know what he did? It's very easy for this person. Let me try to trick him instead. So suddenly he said one thing, and the thing he said is, these sculptures are so very nice, but I see something on the nose of this one. And suddenly this real man who's a sculptor says, hey, I made them so perfect. How can it be possible? So much rage inside, so much anger inside, so much complexity inside, and he lost his simplicity right there and then. And death knew it, that being a deceptive person is not so easy, that you can be simple in your thoughts. And he immediately caught this person. He said, you are the right one. Come on, it's your time to go. He packs him up, wraps him up, and takes him to the destination right there. So, simple story short, let's understand this. It's so important for us to be not deceptive. And you know what? Today, through the Art of Living class, we're going to learn 5 important facts which are based on the way we behave. It is because of this deceitfulness. Actually, most of the time, we lead our complexity of ourselves, not being simple. We lead ourselves towards committing so many misdeeds. We shout at others. We respond to others in a rage voice. We have road rage. Someone just cuts off in the line, and we are like annoyed at it. We're frustrated if we don't get what we want, right? We are so much saddened, and we try deceitful ways to get our way if we don't get what we really want. From our grades also, from the skills in different sports also, just name anything. It's our complexity of the character actually that leads us to committing these misdeeds. And Alochana Part talks about these misdeeds today, which is the 5 misdeeds that we have been doing. And if we don't take charge of it, we don't pay attention to it, it's going to actually keep on increasing, because it's a vicious cycle. What are these 5 misdeeds? Anyone wants to name them? Try it. The first one is violence, being unkind, right? Our unkind attitude. It is about not having compassion, not being able to feel others' heart. When does that happen? When we lose our simplicity. We cannot hear anyone saying anything, right? We lose completely our own internal simplicity. And I mean, we're not losing it, but we are actually covering it with our deceitful nature, because in order to gain something. Yes, Siti.
I think I know another too.
Yes, I'm going to take you next. Let me just speak about this violence first. How about our language? Look at the communication, what we do. Don't we use the language of, hey, I got killed. You killed me. Who does that? Come on, raise your hands. I know it's in all of those Nintendo and other games right there. Simple language, but we use it, right? We so many times use language of, even you see, when we are, look at the language I'm using, when we are cutting the vegetables. What does the cut word really mean? Cutting means you are actually trying to finish the life of something, isn't it that? Right? We could use much sober and much kindful words there, right? That I'm trying to just improve the vegetable, because you're improving it towards the cooking. So there are many ways we can actually think and realize what kind of language we are speaking. Anytime, any kind of harmful words that comes to us, I know it's gonna come, but at least in that moment we can pause and think about this, that, hey, I just said that, but I know that this is coming from my complex nature. I think this is the moment which is giving me an alarm. that I should seek simplicity from within myself, right? And simplicity is so easy. Um, the story which Namrata auntie told day before yesterday, I don't know who heard it, but look at this. This guy was passing this 3-story building constantly, 3 days, 4 days, and there's this man who's on top of that building, third floor, and he keeps on puking on this guy right on the floor. And every single day, this person who is walking down the street, what does he do? He gets the puke on his shoulder, he just wipes it off and he moves on. Second day also happens the same. He wipes it off and he moves on. Third day it happens, he wipes it off and moves on. And it kept on happening for 8 days straight, you know. And after 8 days, there was no more puke. Sorry, the person who was the in charge of that shop in that building said that, why don't you tell this person, is he kind of unkind and hatred towards you for something? Then this guy says, no, there is no kind of hatred or anger for me. I have not even met this person ever in my life. And then he says that you must be having so much hurt and pain because he's puking on you every single day for no reason. And you know what this guy says? He says that, no, you know what? It's so simple for me to just wipe it off. It is him who has to go through such a big complexity of matching my time when I'm passing, matching the direction, which direction I'm going, and fill up his mouth with so much puke that it takes exactly the same parabola and the angle and land right on my shoulder, right here. So it's his pain, his complexity. He has to go through so much more, right? But for me, I can just wipe it off. That's how simple is simplicity. Just wipe off any hurt that you feel ever in your life. Just wipe it off, right? If people are violent towards you or there is violence that is happening through you, wipe it off right in that instant and move forward. But do realize what's happening, correct? So this is, and also this story has another direction actually. Later on, what happens that this person actually gets sick for 3 days. And then suddenly this man realizes, why am I not getting any pukes anymore on my shoulder? And then he got so worried and he asked this shopkeeper again, what happened to that person? Is he okay? Is he doing okay? Then this person says, no, he's really sick and ill and he's not feeling fine at all. This man goes up to his floor and his room and he sees that this person is in a high fever. And then when he goes up there, he sees that he's alone. There's no one to take care of him. So he helps him out of his fever and he takes care of him. And this guy who's on his bed, completely sick, says, I've been so rude and treated you so violently and badly towards you. You still have such a kind attitude towards me. You're still taking care of me. He was so much full of tears. He deeply realized, so deeply, that deceitfulness and complexity is not the way of life. If you want to be happy, it's not by creating rage towards others. It's truly by being kind towards others, being having love towards others. That's how this man actually healed the relationship between both of them. So again, back to the same thing. The opposite of violence is compassion. That's our true nature. We must know and realize that at any point, at every point, that's our true nature. Correct? So let's go to the second one. Yes, Siti, you wanted to tell me what's the other one.
I think I know two. Can I say both?
Okay, go ahead, please.
You said, what was the one you said?
I said violence is the
Yeah.
first one.
So lying and stealing?
Yes, absolutely. The second one is lying. The third one is stealing. They all go in sequence, but they all go hand in hand with each other. And you know what? Simple things that we do, we trick each other so many times. Don't we do that? And we trick each other. And then the first thing that we have to do is lie about it. What happens when we are gossiping about others? That's the reason I never like to gossip. Because what happens when we are gossiping? We are not in charge of our emotions and suddenly we speak bad things about others that we don't even really mean to. One day it happened with me recently, actually, just a couple of weeks back. We all were sitting there. I was trying not to engage myself in gossiping, but then everyone pulled me in, but I'm not giving them the fault for what I did. And then I got so much engrossed in the gossips and the fun everyone was having. that I spoke something in the gossip which I did not realize would hurt my friend. And later on, my friend told me, you know what, Surbi, you said something which really hurt me. And that moment, I realized, oh my God, what did I do? I did not realize when I was speaking it, because that gossip just overpowered me. And I lost my simplicity, my simple self. My mind became complex. And I did not realize that my words were unkind in that moment. And then when she told me, I was so thankful to her, because she made me realize that, Surbi, you should really, really think about that. Is gossiping really a good platform to really have any kind of communication? And that moment I decided, no, I'm going to move out from any kind of gossiping circles. That's not my cup of the tea, because that's the moment when you're unguarded, unsafe, and you would speak certain things about others which you don't even mean to, and it would just happen, right? So that was my realization. Well, if you learn a story, a lesson from that, take it as your lesson too. Okay, so that's what happens. So we lie about things. We don't mean it, but we lie about it. We're trying to correct situations, but that may still be unkind. And in certain in our act of deceiving others, we actually lie so many times, right? Out of our desires to protect us or to save us from any kind of shout from our parents also, we would simply lie. Who does that? Come on, raise your hands. I do that. Sometimes even I have to lie. Yes, yes, we all lie. Come on, come on, come on, raise your hands. Everyone is thinking and realizing. I see now a couple of hands right there. Yes, beta. This is the important thing. It's okay. We are lying. It's totally okay. But realizing that we are lying is more important. Remember that. I've always taught you this, that realizing we are angry, realizing that we have anger, realizing that we have been lying, or that we have done some stealing, that realization is very important. Because it is the realization which is the first step towards going towards the soul's true qualities. What is the opposite of lying? What is the opposite of lying? Yes, Siti.
Saying the truth.
Saying the truth. Agamya, was that your answer? Yes, but remember, saying the kind truth. Hiti, I thought you would say that way, because truth may not be kind in some time, in some ways, right? We may be saying the truth, but it might be to prove our point, but it may hurt others. So always speak the truth, which is supposed to be kind words, right? And if you think it's gonna spoil or expose someone, don't speak in front of others. Just go on a side, and maybe after a day or 2 days, after 10 days, you get an opportunity. Like how my friend did. My friend did not pointed me right in that moment when I was gossiping about her, right? She pointed to me after 2 days. She told me that time my emotion was much subtle and down, and I realized it. In the moment when I'm full of emotions and I'm doing lying or stealing, that moment I will not, you know, if she would have exposed me in that moment, I would have not liked it. So always remember that when you want to correct someone, always go on the side, or always wait for the right moment, a few days maybe, and then when his or her emotions settle down, that's when you are supposed to be talking to them in kind words, like a friend. Correct? So that's a good one. What is the opposite of stealing? Who's gonna take that one? Opposite of stealing. Come on, raise your hands. I don't see more videos today. Turn on your video. Ayushi, you're there. Yes, Anita. Who's Anita? You raise your hand.
Me.
Ayush, who is that?
I'm her son.
What's your name?
Arjav.
Okay, Arjav, what you have to say? What's the opposite of stealing?
The opposite of stealing is well, non-stealing or
Okay.
asteya.
Non-stealing is easy to say, but tell me from an example. Who can share an example and tell me exactly what is non-stealing? It's tough, you know. Okay, let me simplify this for you. Agamya, what do you want to say?
Like, if you think about it, stealing is when you take something. So, like, the opposite of taking something is giving something.
Absolutely beautiful, Agamya. Great take on it. When we are always a giver mindset and not a taker mindset, not a demanding mindset. Tell me, okay, raise your hands right up if we are demanding. Someone is, can please mute yourself. Okay. If raise your right hand, or make a fist if we are demanding mindset, and open your hand if we are a giver mindset. Check that. Think about it. Raise your hands with a fist or with a giving, or half and half. Both is fine. Okay. I know it's hard to see, let's go and realize it today and tomorrow and these 10 days. It's very, very hard to realize who we are. We are constantly demanding from the world, constantly demanding. If someone else gets it and we don't get it for ourselves, we call ourselves unlucky, that we didn't get it. We call life so much unfair because we didn't get it. What is that? Don't we say every day, that's unfair, come on? Don't we say that? Even to our parents, sometimes we say that. Even to our friends, to life, to teachers. So many times we chant this, life is unfair to us, right? That's when you have to think that because you're constantly demanding from life, that's the way to identify that. And to turn it into a giving mindset is having gratitude towards life, constantly having gratitude towards anything, towards the breath, towards the food, towards your teachers, towards your colleagues. Constantly feel gratitude towards your own self, towards your soul's values, constantly feeling gratitude towards them. That's the moment when you become a giver mindset, because then you don't want things just for yourself. You want to give away the things. Remember, yesterday I told about a well. If the well is completely full, it's going to pour out its water and give the water to the surroundings so that the plants can grow, so that the human beings can take water. Everything will happen, right? If the water is full. And if we are not full, what happens? We want more. Hey, can rain come down and give us some water? Can parents come down and give us some things? Can teacher give us some pleasure? Can our friends give us some pleasure? We're constantly trying to fill up our well. Think about it. Is that what we are here for? No, darling, we are already full. We have this overflowing water inside us. Why are you stopping it? We are the givers by nature. So keep on giving as much as possible. Why don't you guys do one little thing for me? For the remaining 7 days, make a small gratitude journal, okay? And in that, write down at least 5 points that you gave to others without them asking you. Does that make sense? Maybe that will cultivate inside us a little giving attitude that yes, we are givers. We want to constantly give. Okay, so write it down in your notes and start from today. Just 5 things. Note it down. I'm going to ask in the class who did what, and we're going to read it back to ourselves. Correct? I'm going to do it with you. Hey guys, I'm with you. I'm not, you guys are not alone. The fourth one is indulging into sensual pleasures. Whenever we allow the senses to take over ourselves, we're going to talk about this tomorrow also. But today, in a short form, we are constantly indulging in the pleasures of our body. This is the touch pleasure. We like to touch things only which we feel nice about. We like to smell things which we feel nice about. So with all these five senses, we are constantly indulging into sensual pleasures. And that's what the fourth one is about. And the opposite of this one is meditation. The only way we can stop indulging in these five senses is by closing every part of it. How do we do that actually? If anyone has done upas, they know it. By doing upas, you have first thing is you have stopped the pleasure of your taste sense, right? And smell sense, both of them get stopped. And then you give yourself an opportunity to quieten down and be and stay with your breath, right? Stay with your inner feelings, right? That's what meditation or that's what the upas is all about. So that's the opposite of indulging into sensual pleasures. Easy way to go. Just let go. That's it. And then just be with yourself. You don't need anything else around you. And trust me, upas gives you that opportunity. Absolutely. If anyone has a pending upas to happen, trust me, see if you can close every single door. See if you can close your eyes, really eyes, not thinking, even thinking eyes. Close your ears, close your mouth. No more smelling anything. And then go indulge into your deep feelings. That's the point of upvas. Because upvas really means, vas means sitting and up means soul. That really means you got to sit with your own soul, not with this body. That's the opportunity we give to ourselves during upvas. Give me a thumbs up. Who wants to try it in their last upvas of the Anant Chaudas? Nice job. Thank you. Love it. Last one. Last one is parigraha, which means accumulation. We are constantly accumulating feelings. We want to be happy. Try to gain happiness from outside. The ice cream is giving me happiness. My friend who's giving me a compliment is giving me happiness. If I'm being praised in front of 5 people, I'm getting happiness. If I achieve something, my best medal award, I'm being happy, right? We are trying to buy happiness from so many outside sources. Think about it, accumulating happiness, right? This is also parigraha. Aren't we doing this? Raise your hand. Aren't we doing that all the time? Yes, we are accumulating so much from the outside world, even happiness. And we don't realize happiness is already inside us. We don't need to accumulate. We just need to let go. And we are also accumulating so many things for ourselves, right? The basic things is okay. You need car, you need shelter, home, you need little food to eat, you need little things like writing pads and stuff. Everything small basic needs, okay. But when the needs turn into wants, hey, I don't want a small Toyota car. I want a Ferrari. The wants. I don't want just an A grade. I want to excel in every single thing I do because I want to win that one medal right there. I want to compete with everyone and show everyone I'm the best one in the race. These wants actually create so much of non-required, unrequired accumulations for us, and this is what parigraha is all about. Does that make sense to everyone? Right? Okay, so we covered up all the 5 points today, right? Being violent, either choose violence or choose compassion. Which one do you choose? Give me 2 fingers if you choose compassion, and if you choose violence, give me 1 finger. Perfect, right there. Everyone has 2 fingers. Lying, or do we choose, what is it? Lying, or do we choose kind truth?
Truth.
Kind truth. Yes, absolutely. Stealing, or do we choose giving? Absolutely giving, right? And then indulging into sensual pleasures, or do we close down these gates and indulge into our meditative self, our internal happy zone? Yes, dear, thank you. And finally, accumulating loads and loads of happiness and things for ourselves from the outside world, or do we choose to actually, what do we do instead of accumulating? We believe in the soul's qualities, that we already have everything. We don't need to go there. We don't need to go that direction. Correct? Good job. Thank you so much. It was such a lovely class. Anyone has any questions for me today? Or yes, Agamya, you have to say something?
May I share an example for the 5th point?
Yes, please. Absolutely.
I think this one is relatable to all of us kids because we're all in school and there's a lot of raffle drawings and all that. And it happens at lunchtime for me. And I was just eating my lunch. And then they picked the name. And then it was my name. And then they're like, everyone is cheering. I felt that happiness, that temporary happiness. Then when I came back to my spot, I saw this one girl, and she was very lonely. And then she didn't really have anything to eat either. So I just gave her my prize, and I let go of it.
My God, that's beautiful, Agamya. To let go of your prize, your award is such a big thing. Do we all agree with that? You know, small things, Agamya, when it comes to it, so hard to give up. But you gave up something which is so prestigious and so, I mean, precious for you and your parents too. Can we all clap for Agamya, please? That's amazing, beta. Thank you, beta. Beautiful way to share, and this shows your giving self. I know you are a very kind and a giving soul, and I know that every kid in my class is so, right? And whoever is not joining Pachala yet, come on, join the Pachala so we can have some more fun stuff there. Okay, join your hands, take a deep breath. Okay, so we want Agamya today. Agamya, you want to say Namukar mantra, please?
Sure. Namo Arihantaram, Namo Sedar, Namo Airiyanam, Namo Vijayanam, Namo Loe Savasaunam, Eso Panchamakaro Savapapanasam, Mangranam chi sarvesim. Paramam have mangalam.
Jai Jane. Have a beautiful